Hi girls. So this week we're going to be thinking about urban change in the UK. So what's been happening to cities and people in the UK. So we're going to understand where most people live in the UK, and we're going to think about what's happened to the population of the UK. I'm sure some of you can already guess the answer to that. So the way we're going to do that, you're going to do a bit of analysis of graphs, and you're also going to look at a map, and you're going to listen to a description, which you're then going to have to try and use the information from. So, good luck. First, we need to think about what's happened to the UK's population. So here we have a line graph showing us the population growth of the UK since 1970. When we're analysing a graph like this, we need to look and think about which way is the line going. So the line is going generally up. We need to think about what this key means on the left-hand side and what the key means on the bottom. So at the bottom we've obviously got the years between 1970 all the way up to 2030, which would be under where my face is. On the left-hand side is the population in millions. So we've got 73 million at the very top, 55 million at the very bottom. There's some extra information on here. We've got a population forecast. So any of this red line is what they predict the population to do. That's because they don't have the data yet. And in August 2010, we've got some extra information saying the UK population is forecast to grow to 70.5 million by 2030. So, what we need to do is think about how would we analyse this graph. Now, a really good way of doing it is named after my favourite drink, tea. So we look at the trend, give some examples, and mention any anomalies. So the trend is the thing that we notice that is true about the graph. So what could we say to describe what's happening in a sentence? So the trend could be population has risen rapidly over time, which means that the overall idea is that the population has gone up very quickly. But then we need to give an example. So an example would be in 1970, I can see that the population was about 55.8 million people, and by 2010 the population was about 61.2 million people. That gives us a range of 5.4 million people. So the population has grown by 5.4 million people over those 40 years. But that's not quite enough. I also need to say if there's any anomalies. Is there anything that doesn't quite match my trend? Has population always risen rapidly, or were there times it didn't? Did it even go down at points? So if I have a look at the start of the graph, I can see that the line along here is fairly flat. It goes up a little bit to begin with, but then flattens out. Even it decreases slightly on the right-hand side. So for my anomaly, I could say between 1970 and 1985, the rate was slow, but it increased after this. So I've just given a really good description, well I think so anyway, of this graph talking about the trend, the example, and the anomaly. So you'd have to have a go yourself. You can always mention different trends, different anomalies, but make sure you're giving examples.